good, y'all? Welcome back to the Titans Rundown. I am your host, Micah McCamey, and in the last episode, we talked about how it's ridiculous that people are still talking about Joe Alt not going at 7, and we also talked about how about the L'Jarius Sneed rumors and how much they're heating up. So, this time, all right, we're going to touch on some of those subjects while also talking about the new rules that have been put in place. And we're also going to say or talk about what you should expect from the Tennessee Titans this next year. That will be the main topic, going into this episode, all right? So, anyway, let's dive right on into it. Starting out, just a minor thing, it's something that isn't like humongous, but the L'Jarius Sneed trade has been confirmed, and it looks like that, Jim Wyatt, they may do this while Jim Wyatt and the Titans page, they may do this while I'm recording, or, this may happen before tomorrow's episode, but, well, before tomorrow when this episode will be going out, but it's reported that he has passed his physical, and he has also officially agreed to terms. So let's just hope that all of this is true, because if it's not, man, I'm gonna be a little upset. I ain't gonna lie. So hopefully we can. Hopefully I can get off of this and look at it and be like, hey, this is confirmed. But if I can't, then that's fine. It's just, I don't know why. I've been really worried about this. I think that the Titans fan base has also been a little questionable. Like, do we really think that L'Jarius Sneed's going to be here? Like, everybody's been worried about if he fails his physical or not. But it's nice to hear a positive report about the fact that he may be okay. All right. So, anyway, I just wanted to get that minor subject out of the way. Oh, also, L'Jarius Sneed is going to change. It changes my expectations for this year's team. Because if I'm being honest, I didn't expect anything at all. I was expecting like a game better than last year, 7-10. But you'll see how that plays into my segment whenever I talk about this team's expectations. So, anyway, going on. Now, the Titans need to be dead set on Joe Alt. They don't need anything like, they don't need to play around with this. They don't need to get cute with it, go draft like a J.C. Latham or trade down and get Olu. All right, we need to get Joe Alt. Now, here's something that I've heard, though. All right, so picks 1 through 6, they're not going after a left tackle. I think that that's been mostly confirmed throughout most organizations, all right? Because, you got the first 3 picks. Those are obvious. They're all going quarterback, all right? Don't try and think about these other people that are trying to get cute with it and be like, hey, what if this happened? Like, what if, like, I saw this stupid mock draft earlier today, like, where someone said that Washington would trade down to 5 and get Alt or Brock Bowers. That makes no sense whatsoever. They don't have they have like one active quarterback on that roster, and I'm pretty sure it's like Jake Fromm or something like that. So, like, don't let any of those mock drafts fall for it. They're just trying to get you riled up, and they got me riled up at first, I'll be honest, but just know that is not true. All right, Washington is going to stick to their pick, and they're going to go Jaden Daniels or Drake May. I can guarantee that to you. All right. Then number 3. Then obviously number 1 is Caleb Williams. Keenan Allen showed up to his pro day. Number 3 is going to be the remaining of Drake May and Jaden Daniels, because let's be real, Jacoby Brissett ain't the future of that. Ain't the future of that roster. And even though Gerard Mayo said that they're leaving all options out on the table, and that it's not guaranteed to be a quarterback, that there are no guarantees at all, don't listen to that either, because like Joe, sorry, not Joe Alt. Whoa, um, good old oh man, I can't remember his name. Oh yeah, Gerard Mayo. For some reason, it slipped from my head. My bad. Um, Gerard Mayo even went on an interview after he was hired as head coach. Whenever they asked about what they're doing at the draft position, he said, "Man, you just got to get the most important position that is needy at the moment in time." And obviously, the most important position is quarterback. A position of need for the Patriots is quarterback. So they're drafting one or the other between Drake May and Jaden Daniels. All right. So number 4, Arizona Cardinals. If they don't draft Marvin Harrison Jr., they are idiots. Let's just get that out of the way right now. Or Malik Neighbors, but also the Cardinals also have a left tackle. They moved Paris Johnson to left tackle, and they're letting Jonah Williams play right tackle. So I think that it's quite obvious that that's not where they're going. Because like there's no way that they're giving up on a first round pick after year 1, where he did show genuine flash of being a great offensive lineman. So I think it's obvious that they're not going left tackle, more obvious than even the next two, and I think those are pretty obvious. So 5 and 6 are the Giants and the Chargers. Okay. Now, I've been hearing a lot of stuff like everyone's being like, "Oh, obviously one of these two teams is going to grab Joe Alt, and it's not even going to be fair to the Titans." So let's talk about this real quick, because I don't think people look enough at the rosters for the Chargers and the Giants. All right. So like even some people that I know, that even some like, people in the community are worried about the Chargers. The Chargers have Rashawn Slater. The left tackle that they drafted a few years ago, young guy, Pro Bowler in his first year. They are not giving up on Rashawn Slater. I am 100% guaranteeing you that. All right? And the next team that drafts is way more likely to do that. And they're not even that likely. So, like, to me, there's no chance that they draft Joe Alt. And if they do, I don't know what their plan is, because obviously Joe Alt is not a right tackle. And Rashawn Slater ain't a right tackle either. So, I mean, I guess that it would be a Chargers move to draft Joe Alt without any, like, further ideas of, like, what they're going to do. But, it's just not ideal. It's not logical. So, then you go on to pick 6. All right? And this is the Giants. Now, this one could kind of make sense for Joe Alt, but still not really. So they already have Andrew Thomas, who is a really good left tackle, and he's not going to change the right tackle, especially considering the fact that they're probably going to give Evan Neal one more year to see like if he develops at all. Because like, obviously his first few years have not been good for Evan Neal. He has not been that great, and it's why I'm against drafting J.C. Latham, if I'm being honest. But like Joe Alt to the Giants would be dumb. All right. Andrew Thomas is a great left tackle, but I do see a universe where they do go after Andrew Thomas. Or, sorry, Joe Alt. Because Joe Alt is less injury prone than Andrew Thomas is. Andrew Thomas has missed a lot of time, and that's what's held back people from being like, yes, he is the best left tackle in the NFL, and it ain't even close, all right? Because he's not the best left tackle, let's be real, all right? There's someone out there, I can't think of them but right now, but there definitely is a left tackle that is better than Andrew Thomas. But then again, the O-line got 10 times worse without him. Like, it was so horrible. Like, somehow, without him, they were worse than us. Like, that is an accomplishment, honestly. Because, like, any other year in the NFL, I think that we would have had the worst O-line. By far. Not even close. But without Andrew Thomas, they just fell apart. The only reason that O-line isn't even, like... The reason that O-line isn't even... the reason that our O-line was not bottom 3 last year was because Derrick Henry is still a beast, and he was able to run and make the run blocking look okay. So, like, that ended up carrying the offensive line to not being bottom 3. So, just take that into consideration whenever you think about this. So, like, yeah, and then that leaves us. So, I don't see why people are worried that Joe Alt's not going to be available. All right. And I see why some people, like, I don't like the Bowers community, but I do kind of get that some of those people are just saying that out of a sense of panic of the idea that Joe Alt isn't going to be there. So, like, I understand that. I still don't think it's the right move, but I get that move. So, anyway, we're moving on. That got a little carried away. So, let's talk about the new rules. Okay, there are some that I like. Don't get me wrong. All right. And I'll get to the one that I like in like 2 minutes. All right. But I need to vent about this hip drop. Hip, hip drop tackling is the worst new rule that the NFL has had in the past 2 years. Actually, three. Because DPI review was pretty bad. I'll give you that. But like, what do you expect the defensive players to do? They pick them up, cradle them, put them down, and let them rest. Like that Kevin Hart clip from Get Up. Is that what you expect them to do? Like, it's just so dumb. All right, and I get it. All right, I get it. You want to keep your players safe. You want to be able to make sure that your marketable players don't get injured that often. But that's just ridiculous, man. They don't have a way to tackle. Anyway, I just wanted to get that out of the way. I wanted to get that vent out of the way because, holy cow, whenever I realized what a hip drop tackle was, I got so mad about that. So, here is something else. All right. I really like the new kickoff rules. Now, I know that there are a lot of people out there right now that are just like, I hate the new kickoff rules. Like, it takes away from some of the fun of the game. Now, actually, in my opinion, I think it actually makes the game 10 times more fun. And here's the thing, Titans fans, you should be the happiest of all, because we have an old kicker that has never been known for a strong leg, and this benefits those types of kickers. Because now, now we don't need to kick it into the back of the end zone. And this is something I can get behind for player safety. Because, like, a normal kickoff could be pretty dangerous. A player doesn't see, a player's looking up into the sky about to get the ball. They don't see someone else coming, and then concussion, something like that ends up happening. So, like, I can see someone being a little upset about this new rule, but Mike Keith even said that, like, this rule, like, Mike Keith isn't really, like, he isn't verbal about rules and whatnot. Like, he hasn't said anything about the hip drop tackling thing, but he even expressed his excitement for this rule. Like, and Mike Keith is meant to be the most neutral guy. By the way, shout out to Mike Keith. Just absolute legend, amazing play-by-play commentator, and he is what I aspire to be whenever my career keeps on moving on. Except, let's be real, I'm not going to be as neutral. I'm going to tell you whenever the Titans are doing something wrong. All right, so now here is something else. All right. There was one more rule that I wanted to touch on. I think that there's another rule that I'm forgetting about that's also pretty big. But this is my personal favorite rule. Coaches are allowed to challenge 3 times in a game now. And I know that one doesn't sound like as great as the other two, but like, I really like this rule, honestly. So, my thing is that I think that this is potentially the best rule out of all 3 that I've discussed. But but there is one problem with it. It's that, if I am struggling today. I'm under the weather. Can you tell? But um, but you have to at least how do I word this? You have to be successful on one of your two challenges before you can throw your third. So that's a little bit of a negative, but that doesn't mean it's a bad rule change. So yeah, I like that rule change. If I had to rank them in order, I know that I said that may be my favorite out of the three, but I would go the new kickoff rule at number 1, that at number 2, the challenging rule, and then put hip drop tackling at 6. All right, because that doesn't even deserve to be anywhere near the other two. So now we get on to the main topic, which may have the least time, but here's what you should expect from the Titans' expectations. Now, these things have definitely gone up, but I do think that some people are overreacting, like saying if they don't make the playoffs or don't win the division, they're a disappointment. Now, calm down, all right? That could be considered a disappointment, but we've got to also remember it's a new head coach, it's a new quarterback. There are going to be some serious growing pains, all right? Especially whenever that head coach is a first-year play caller. Now, who knows? That could work to his advantage, but like I am a little worried that next year could be a complete flop. But here's my thing. All right, so I will discuss this a little bit more over the next 2 or 3 weeks for something to do until draft time. I'll tell you what our floor is, and I'll tell you what our ceiling is, and then I'll tell you how we can reach both of those things. So, our floor is 7-10. At least that's how I feel. And I think that could end up being our final record if a couple of things go wrong, but I think that our floor, sorry, not our ceiling is 7-10. Yeah, our floor is 1-16, guys. Get real with it. Our floor is 7-10 because there could be a few things that go wrong, and our ceiling is 11-6. Because if Brian Callahan lives up to that expectation, that even like betting websites are saying that he has like the 5th best odds to win Coach of the Year. So like if he can reach like those expectations, then I think that we'll be fine. I think that we can end up going like 8-9 or 9-8. Even if Will Levis is bad. So like, but if Will Levis is good and we have a really good head coach, then I think that we go 10-7 or 11-6 and we make it to the wild card. Now I know that there are a lot of people that think that that is ridiculous, but the truth is, guys, this roster is very talented and it's full of leaders. You have Will Levis at quarterback. You have 2 really good receivers that will flawlessly fit into the Brian Callahan system. Now, here's something that I saw. Whenever I was looking through the comment section of a YouTube video where Brian Callahan was being interviewed, I saw some Bengals fan talking about he's not that good of an offensive mind. All that his philosophy was chuck it up to T. Higgins and D-Hop. Hold on, brother. That's what he can do with Calvin Ridley and DeAndre Hopkins. Now, obviously, there is a talent gap between Chase and Higgins. All right? But there is not that, but it's not as huge as some people will try and tell you from Chase and Higgins to Ridley and D-Hop. That's just an older version of that duo, if I'm being completely honest. Like even Jamar Chase was struggling with drops. So my point is that, all right, the receivers will fit into Callahan's system flawlessly. I think that he has the right system in place, and I think that if we get the draft right, that will make us a potential playoff team. But the real thing is, all right, Will Levis, it all leans on him. He's got to be good. If he's not good, throw all of this out of the window. We gotta wait until next year and go get a quarterback. All right. So if Will Levis is good, so it depends if Will Levis is good. but it also leans on, can Brian Callahan call the right plays in the right situations? Can Brian Callahan, I think that he can, genuinely. I think that he could become a great head coach, but can he do what is right for the team? Can he not be a hideous play caller? Can he not be Nathaniel Hackett? Can he not be Josh McDaniels? And can he be a Dan Campbell? Now, I know that's a weird comparison because Dan Campbell doesn't even call plays, but I was just trying to think of a comparison between a good head coach because I wouldn't say can he be an Andy Reid, or can he be a Shanahan? Now, I know that Shanahan is considered a top-tier coach, but, like, can he be a poor man Shanahan? Like, an A-tier coach that calls the right plays in the right situations. So, I'm going to end it on that. So, I have Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok, and they're all under the Titans Rundown. And for people listening over podcasting form, I have a YouTube channel where I have short form and long form content. I actually posted a really fun video about my instant reaction to L'Jarius Sneed. I was tired. I was excited. I was so confused. So if you want to go check that out, I'll put that in the a link to that in the description for the YouTube video and the podcast. So that's going to do it all for me. This has been a rundown of your Tennessee Titans. I love y'all, and tighten up.